everyone to Her Story Unscripted. I'm so excited to have Mercedes here. I've been like a fangirl of you for a really long time, and only because, well, lots of reasons, but I think just being an entrepreneur and watching a woman be able to like grow through all of your business adventures and then like the work that you're doing with SoCo Markets and all of
Mhm.
that. So I have so many questions around that. And the fact that you've gone through some like personal things, I think this is going to be such a great conversation and people will learn more about you and your why behind everything that you do. So welcome.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for having me. Finally
Yeah.
made it happen.
And the funny thing is I met your mom first actually through my one of my projects that I was working on and she was she spoke at one of my retreats and so I love your family. I love the work that you
Yes.
guys do. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I know a little bit about your entrepreneur journey, but I would love for people to see, like, to hear how you got to this point because you are like a serial entrepreneur, and I want to talk about like the growth of the market. So, tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about like where your career journey started.
Yeah, it goes way back. So I got my first job in retail, working at the Santa Rosa Plaza Mall, and that's where my passion for fashion kind of started. I was 15 years old, and just again, it was my first job. Didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up at all. And I grew up in Windsor, went to all Windsor middle or Windsor schools. When I graduated, went to the junior college and started studying business administration, thinking I was going to work in an office job or something. Because again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And my mom's a savvy businesswoman, and she's always worked in office settings. So I just thought I'd maybe do something similar. But I grew a passion again for fashion in retail. And through working in retail, I discovered that I loved helping customers find outfits for occasions, building the customer relationships, and getting to know them on a personal level. And anything to do with clothes, I just loved. And I've always been a fashionista since I was little too. I remember like going to school and I would go through my mom's closet, go through my sister's closets, and just kind of pick out pieces that I liked in their closets and would wear them to school even if it wasn't my size. But we loved putting outfits together. And as I started doing classes for business administration, I just was not connecting with any of the classes. I wasn't enjoying it. And I had met with my counselor at that time, and she asked me what I was passionate about, and I told her I love clothes, I love retail. At that point, I had 5 years under my belt working in retail, and she was like, "Why don't you open up your own shop?" And I didn't know that was possible at the time. And it's not something that they taught in school again at the time. Like on the word entrepreneur was so new to me. I had no idea what that meant. And so she was the one who encouraged me to try it out, and she plugged me into the entrepreneurship program at the JC, where I learned all the ins and outs of starting a business, running a business, growing a business.
I actually didn't know they had that kind of program.
Yeah, at the junior college.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a certificate program. So
Okay.
it's
Huh.
quick. Yeah, it's quick and easy. And it helped me a lot in my startup journey of opening up my first business, which was bow and arrow clothing. So I was able to start that online. I had that online for about a year. And this is when Instagram was so new. There was no algorithm or anything. So it's super easy to grow on Instagram. And after launching that, I saved up enough money to open up my first brick and mortar in downtown Cotati. So I opened up Bow and Arrow Clothing in July of 2016. And I was 20 when I opened that. So I had a lot
So
to,
wild.
I know I had, so not every 20-year-old is doing that. And I jumped right into it. And I had that business for 7 years before selling it. And then I had, SoCo Market. SoCo Market was born through the pandemic. We just saw a wave. I just saw a wave of entrepreneurs, like people finally getting the time to start businesses of their own. And I wanted to build a platform where they could connect with the community, get their business in front of people, make some sales, and just, again, connect with the community. And so the city of Cotati allowed me to close the side street next to Bone Arrow Clothing. And our first event, we had 11 vendors. And then after that, it just continued to grow and grow. And we got invited by the city of Santa Rosa to bring our events to the square. And that's where we've been the past, it'll be 6 years in September.
Wow.
SoCo Market has been going. Yeah.
Okay, so you started with 11 vendors.
hmm
Where are you at today?
Yeah, on the square, we host about 90 vendors. When we do our holiday market at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds, we have around 150 vendors there.
Um, what I love so much about what you do is that, and this is something I've been always passionate about, is how do we bring small business entrepreneurs together and like allow the community to meet them, to see them, to support them, because a lot of these people are, one-offs. Sometimes they do events, but like, how do you get the community to like really buy in what they do? And then that's what I really love about all of your markets is like you allow people to showcase their businesses in such a cool way.
Yeah, exactly. And almost all of the businesses, they don't have brick and mortars. They rely on pop-ups and markets to, bring in their revenue and grow their business. So it's just, yeah, awesome being able to give them that platform to do just that.
How how many SoCo markets? Because I know you have like a huge, robust calendar and you're doing all types of events now. How many
Yeah.
markets do you do a year?
Um, so I think last year we did 16 and 16 is the most we've ever done. So this year it's gonna be a little bit more because we have some new projects lined up for the summer and partnerships with different cities. But I've been able to just build like a solid team to help support all of this because it's a lot. It's a
I'm
lot.
like, how? And that was my next question is, please tell me you don't do all this alone. I think last time I
I
saw you, I'm
know.
like, please tell me you don't do all this by yourself.
Not anymore. I know. Did it for so long by myself. So just finding those key people who are strong in the areas that I am weak and just learning to delegate and regulate responsibilities. And I know how to open a retail shop and all of that and build a team, what that looks like, a manager, sales associates. But with events, it's so different and there's so many different positions within that industry and marketplace. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what positions do I need right now? What does that look like?
How big is
Um,
your team now?
yeah, I have 5 people on our team.
Okay.
And yeah, and day of, you're gonna find them and all of my family. You're gonna find our friends helping out day of too. So I'm so appreciative of all their help. But yeah, I have 5 who are on payroll.
And then talk about all the new stuff that you have coming up because I know you do
Yeah,
the markets and then I love the holiday one, which is super
yeah,
fun. I think it's such a great way to buy presents and like
yeah,
unique presents, right? Instead of like the stuff on Amazon, but like really
right.
curated, cool
Yeah.
local crafts. But you're
Mhm.
doing a lot more. Like talk about your clothing pop-up. I think you do, I forget the name of it. You have all these cute little names.
Yeah, no, I used to have Holy Vintage. So at one point I had Bone Arrow Clothing open. I had the SoCo Market and I had Holy Vintage, which was a vintage clothing shop on 4th Street in downtown Santa Rosa. So I had that for about maybe a little over 2.5 years before kind of like selling that and closing that business. So right now, yeah, we just have I have the SoCo Market, which I've been doing full time for 2 years now. And so we have our events at the square hosted once a month, April through August, downtown Santa Rosa. But I also host the Fork and Good Food Festival, which is an annual food festival event. So that one is so much fun. You'll find around like 60 food vendors from Sonoma County and all of the Bay Area. And it's just a day to celebrate food, all things food.
It's
We
so good. What my
yeah.
biggest mistake is, and this is like what I would tell people now, I'm like, you have to go with a group because like you want to try everything, but it was like just me and my husband, and like
Yeah.
we were so full, and I'm like, but I want to try more food. So community
Yes.
group is like
Yeah.
ideal. So you can try more.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what I'm thinking when I first launched Forkin? Our first event, the vendors did offer $5 to $10 bites, which allowed attendees to try multiple dishes. So I think I want to bring that back because, like you said, you want to try everything, but you're getting full-size plates
Yeah.
and you only eat so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do most of the people that come to these markets, are they mostly Sonoma County? Like what is your range of counties that where these
Yeah,
vendors come from?
we get vendors from Hayward, Sacramento, San Jose, Vallejo, San Francisco, Oakland, so all over the East Bay, South Bay too. So it's really awesome to see where SoCo Market is reaching. Yeah, so that's been cool to watch over the years.
And then you have your little Sunday vintage pop-up, clothing pop-up.
Yes, our closet clean out events that we just started hosting this year every third Sunday at a warehouse in downtown Santa Rosa. And that's it includes about 15 sellers. So I created this event because I wanted to give the community a chance to sell their closets because how many of us have bags of clothes everywhere?
Yeah.
Like, and Plato's Closet, they'll take maybe one item from like the bags that I take. And I was just so tired of that. And I was like, I know I have quality, great branded stuff that I know I could sell at a decent price. So that's why I created the closet clean out. So I'll sell my personal items there too, pop in every now and then. But that one's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we started that, I think, in January.
And
Yeah,
that's
so
every month.
every third Sunday of the month. Yeah. So it's a warehouse. We host it at a warehouse right across from Cooperage in downtown Santa Rosa. Yeah. So we have and that's every third Sunday of the month. All of our market dates too can be found on our website at thesocomarket.com with details like how to sign up, be a vendor, how to sell at the closet clean out, all that good stuff.
Do people who are from other areas reach out to you to be like, how do you start a market? Like,
Yeah. Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, you have success. I mean, I'm assuming as an outsider, you look very successful about like how you do it. I'm
Mhm.
assuming people come to you and say, how the heck do you do this?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I had a gal recently, just like last year, reach out and she is from Arizona wanting to start a community market in her area and she's doing it. Yeah, so we did like she had a bunch of questions and a little consulting thing, but she's up and running and she's had a couple of markets now that have looked successful. So yeah, it's awesome to see that happen. And then there's other people too who it's hard. People see the success of my events and everything, and it looks easy, right? Just all you have to do is get vendors to sign up for your event. But how do you bring the people to your
Right.
markets? How do you create an experience that makes them want to come back? Not only that, but are your vendors, are they making money too? Because if they're not going to continue to show up and sign up for your events. And that's the thing. Where I think a lot of people were missing that spot for people who have tried to host events. And I've seen it over and over again, especially on a local level, just, people trying to do something similar. It's like there's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah, I know. I don't think people realize like the ticket sales and yeah, getting people there. And yeah, that's why
Mhm.
I don't want to be in events anymore,
Yeah.
is the stress of the ticket sales.
That took me a while to brush off when I started doing ticketed events, the anxiety I had. You're just like, okay, how many tickets did we sell today? How many more do we need? And then like marketing, okay, how can we strategize a marketing um plan to boost sales and all? Yeah, it's a whole thing. I get it.
And then you also have a newer event, like a coffee event. Like what, talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. We just hosted our first, it was called Roast and Rhythm. So I'm always inspired by what bigger cities are doing as far as events for their community. And I try to kind of bring those experiences here in Sonoma County. So Roast and Rhythm was one of them. I got to go to a coffee and house event in LA at Venice, and what it is was a coffee shop hosted a DJ. It was a pretty big DJ. But it was during the day, it was like Saturday morning, and no alcohol. It's just you go get your coffee and you just chill and dance to music. And at my age, like our generation, we don't want to wake up hungover anymore. We're tired of going to the clubs and just going to the clubs. Like the night scene is so not it anymore.
Especially
We,
in Sonoma County.
especially in Sonoma County, yeah, we're pretty limited with what you can do and all of that stuff. So I thought that was a really cool way to get together and still have a good time. And so with Roast and Rhythm, we kind of mimicked that same thing, but I did include multiple coffee vendors who did pop-ups. And this was a ticketed event, which included tastings from coffee vendors and obviously just access to the event. But we had local house DJs going, and it's just fun coffee and house music. Yeah.
So fun. Well, how
Yeah.
do you stay inspired? I mean, like,
Hmm.
Again, like you've gotten so creative with the types of events that
Hmm.
you're doing. Like what do you, I know because I personally follow you, so I know you go to like a lot of like markets of your own, but like how do you continue to stay inspired?
Yeah, I continue to travel to other places, other cities, going to events there and markets, and that's how I get inspired.
Mhm.
And it's nice. I have to also just take breaks, like for myself to recharge. Otherwise, the burnout just, you feel that, and that's where inspiration dies, I feel like. But that happened for me where you just need it, you want to pull back from everything. So being intentional with taking care of myself and recharging what I need to, and then coming back to my work or sitting down and revisiting a plan that I had a couple months ago. Just listening to my body and my mind and seeing where I'm at. But also again, I love traveling to other cities and putting myself in those same environments and just being inspired there.
I love that. Okay, I have one
Mhm.
more work question for you. Like, what's next? Like, is there
Yeah.
any like fun things you could tell us that's like coming our way in Sonoma County
Yeah.
or other little projects you're working on?
Yes. Yeah. One project that I have been working on is bringing a food truck park to Sonoma County. So that's kind of been the latest, and that's so new for me, like the whole build out and everything that it takes to create something like this. So new, but again, I have a passion for helping the small business community. And we have so many amazing food trucks, pop-up food vendors who are looking for a home or just that consistency. It's awesome that we have breweries who partner with these food trucks, but there's so many more food trucks looking for a spot. And I think Sonoma County is so blessed with so many of them, and I want to give them a platform or just again a space where they can call home, space where the community come together, eat good food, dance a little bit, have a couple of drinks. So that's been in the works. Mhm.
I love that. For some reason, what popped into my head, I think it was the Food Network that did it, where they did like the battle of the food trucks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Are you
But
talking
like
about
that
which?
would be like a fun event where there's like 10 different food trucks and they like, we
Yes.
like
When you
vote
a dish.
on their food and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I know Old Cas has done Clash of the Food Trucks. So they've
Mhm.
done something similar. Everyone comes with like, their own curated dishes and everyone votes for their favorite. Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
So
Hmm.
fun. I love it. It's just, I think we all want different experiences, like you were saying, like different experiences, different
Hmm.
things in our community. It feels very like blah. And we do. We
Yeah.
have so many food and beverage people here right in our town. It's like, how do we support
Mhm.
them?
Yeah, exactly.
I love
Hmm.
it. Good job, girl. Okay,
Hmm.
so we're going to pivot a little bit to your personal life.
Yeah.
Just had a major change in your life. We're
Yeah.
not going to go into like a ton of details, but I think there's a lot of beauty in what you've gone through and where you're at
Hmm.
today. Because I think
Hmm.
just before we got on, it's like a lot of us are kind of in this. And so,
Right.
how do we see the other side as a beautiful thing? So, you want to talk a little more?
Yeah, yeah. Just this January, yeah, I, decided to end my marriage and move in, get my own space, live by myself. I've never ever done that in my life. And just the generations before me this is nothing's been done like this before. So it was so scary, and making that decision and stepping into the unknown is so scary. And I always tell people, like, I would never ever judge anyone for staying in something or leaving because either one is so hard. But I'm just really grateful that I said yes to this and I stepped into it and just trusting God with this new season of my life. It's been just a blessing in every way. And I've gotten to know myself like I never have before. And it's such a beautiful thing, especially being, I know I'm 31 years old. I'm financially independent, which is so different compared to just, even decades ago where us women, we depended a lot on the man to provide and all the things, but we live in a time where like we are doing it for ourselves right now.
Mhm.
And so I feel that way too for my generations and the woman in my, in my life, my family line who I'm doing a lot of first things. So breaking those generational things. It's heavy, but they're so powerful at the same time.
How long were you with your ex? Like, was there ever
Yeah.
a point where you were single? Because, I mean,
Yeah. Mhm.
40, how old am I now? 43. And I've never been single. Like I've always
Really?
dated, married, dated. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yes.
constantly.
Yeah.
Was
Hmm.
that like similar for you?
So for me, this was a long-term relationship, 15 years. And there's two periods where I was single. One was for like 3 months, and then the last time I was single, it was for like 7 months, but I had always gotten back with my partner. And yeah, so I was together 15, married for well, I guess we would say 2 years now. Oh, I was married for 2 years. Before, yeah, having to just making that decision to walk away and be a single woman. And God has showed me so much through the situation and, the reasons why I stayed and what just childhood stuff that was tied to it and how many of us stay out of comfort too, stay out of just sense of security that we have, especially being in a small town. It's like, okay, be with your partner for a long time, get married, have kids, those things.
Because
Or,
that's what we're told to do, right? Like as soon as we are born, everyone's like, okay, now you need to find your partner and you need to get married and you need to have a
yeah,
kids and we
yeah,
all go down that path. And then there's always a point where we're like, but is this what it's supposed to be? You know what I mean? Like
yes,
why does it have to be this way?
right, yeah. And I think for me too, I didn't realize how much I lost myself.
Mm.
I think God started to speak to me about codependency two years ago. And I was like, God, I'm not codependent, because to me, I thought codependent meant that you rely on someone for everything. And I've always been an independent person. But what I've done where codependency is like sneaky and it ties in with people pleasing is that we sacrifice our own needs and wants for everyone else. And because of that, I neglected myself. Honestly, for years, I've never knew how to speak up for what I want or checked in with myself to see like, hey, how do you feel about this? How did that convo make you feel? Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to say yes and commit to this? I was a yes person to everything and everyone. And you being that person, it's just a hard place to be, and you lose yourself because you no longer know what you want or you need. And there is just like in my situation with my marriage, there's like multiple things and stuff that I was like, but the breaking point was just that, betrayal in a marriage is huge.
Mhm.
And for me, it made me check on myself. And I woke up one day, I was like, I had to be real with myself through counseling because I went numb. I went numb last year. I couldn't feel anything, no anger, no sadness. And through the work of counseling, I had to get back in touch with my emotions and talk to the little girl inside of me and ask her, how are you feeling today, actually? What do you want? What do you need? And one day I woke up and I started to feel. And what I felt, it wasn't pretty. I was like, oh, I'm not happy. I'm
Mhm.
not happy. This is not what I want for myself.
Mhm.
And I felt like for the first time I had a decision to make for myself, no one else. Like it wasn't in anyone else's hands but my own. And that's when I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for me. And
Mhm.
that was the very first time I put myself first.
Didn't it
And
just feel so amazing?
it's crazy the amount of peace
Mhm.
that came with it, the amount of peace, the amount of grace, because also too in this transition, I'm a pretty forgiving person and it was easy for me to forgive him. I couldn't forgive myself
Mhm.
for a long time, till like really recently. And I think that's something that we all experience. Like we're our biggest critics, and it's hard to do. Hmm.
Mhm. You now, because again, like I've been following you, like you just
Hmm.
look so peaceful and happy, and like your posts are just one of those like moments of like it can be better on the other side, and it
Yes.
feels really
Yeah.
messy and ugly and unknown, but
Yeah.
like to see it on the other side, like
Yeah.
how it you
Yeah.
just look more free.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that people didn't know too, it's like last year was just my hardest year where I was fighting and dealing with all of this privately, like really trying to make things work until one day I just woke up, right? but I grieved while I was still in my relationship. So a lot of people, didn't know all of last year. That's what I was going through. And then, seeing my posts and just this new season that I'm in earlier this year, that's new to people. So they're like, oh, you must be so heartbroken, like all these things. I'm like, I already did that. I'm on the other side actually, which is why what you're seeing now. They're like, "Wow, you're glowing." I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?
you're like, I'm free. I feel like myself again.
This is freedom. Like I'm living in freedom and it feels so amazing. And I feel like freedom for the first time where I'm doing what I want. I don't care how it looks to anyone or what the world thinks, where they think I should be, how they thought I should handle situations, all the things. I'm like, no, this is me. This is what I want to do. And I'm so happy. And just the peace and joy that has come in this season. It's been like abundance. And being able to kind of pour into other people who are going through similar things or, in that middle position, has been very just heartwarming being able to share that space with them, give them some encouragement, because it isn't easy, especially when you are in the thick of it. It's hard.
It is really hard. But I feel like you have a very good community. Like your
Yeah.
family, I know your family's really close and
Mhm.
your group of friends. I'm
Mhm.
assuming they've been a big support through this transition.
Which I'm so, so grateful for. Like whatever decision I made, they're like, Sadie, I'm here to support you, however that looks. So they walked with me through all the hard decisions I had to make. And I could not have done it without them at all. And just them being like, hey, I'm here. How can I show up for you today? That's just meant the world.
And this is like why I had this platform is because I want us to talk about the ugly and the unknown and the fear
Yeah.
because there is so much beauty to see somebody else going through it and you're like, okay, like if she
Mhm.
can do it, I can do it. And
Yes.
how do I have somebody that I can reach out to and say like, hey, how do you navigate this? Or how did you
Mhm.
deal with this? Or how do you
Mhm.
move on? And how do you find your own place? And like
Yeah.
that financial freedom, I just couldn't, it just that's why I love when people are open about their stories because I think we need more of that.
It's part of your testimony. And it's like that needs to be shared. All the ugly stuff, all the real stuff, share it
Yeah,
because you never know who it's gonna help. That's what I've learned through all the hard stuff I've been through. Just I've seen how God's used it for good and I've been able to help other people who've gone through similar things. Hmm.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
congrats to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Your house is super cute, and I'm
Thank
always like, oh
you.
my gosh, that's so fun. I'm like, what would it be like to like have my
I
own home?
I know. Even living by myself, living alone. Have you ever lived alone in your
No,
life? See, it's
no.
scary. Yeah, not a lot of people have. And that's what I was scared of because I lived with my family. We're so close. And then I moved in with my partner, but we lived together for about like 3 years. But I've never been alone. And then my dog, he had passed last year too. He's always been like with me. So this was the first time in my life where I was completely alone. Didn't even have a companion. So I sat in that lonely time because it was hard. After all the excitement of moving in, I have a cute place, cute area, and then just, get building that routine for myself. But when come the afternoons, I was like, I'm actually alone here. I don't have another person to share this space. I'm the only one in this space. But I sat through it because it's so easy for us that this is when we turn towards distractions. We turn towards maybe another person to fill that void. But I was like, no, Lord, I want to sit through this. And he met me in those places too. And you have to just go through it. Like, it's okay. Feel what you need to feel and sit with it. So that's what I did for a while because it was pretty lonely, but making sure that I had my own routine down. Um, okay, what show am I going to watch tonight? Like, what book am I going to read tonight? Just making sure that I'm, doing little things for myself during those times too has helped a lot.
I love that.
I value my alone time now. Like I'm
Girl,
like
I'm so jealous.
so is my mom. She was like, "Can I come out and
She's
sleep
like, can I
over
come
with
hang out
you?"
with you? I mean, not even just a spouse, but like kids. My
Yeah.
dog. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
literally thought I closed my door and he just barges in here.
That's
And I'm like,
right. I
I
can
can't even
never.
be alone in my own office or
Oh,
the
I love it.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so proud of you. Like, I think it does take a very strong person to like be in that position to be like, no, I want better for myself and I deserve better um and to be able to work through that unknown. And so I think as a woman to woman, like I see you and I think we need more of us to stand up and fight for what we deserve.
Yes, yes. Don't settle. Like
Don't
that's
set.
one thing. Don't settle. Like it's as uncomfortable as it is, whatever it looks like. I mean, you have to be true and honest with yourself. Like start there. Just
Mhm.
start there. Check in with yourself.
So true. What's next for you? Like what's next for Mercedes? Personally, work. I mean, I know you have a
And
lot of projects
I
like
have so many projects this year, and I'm just again in such a new season, so I'm taking it all in. Like sky's the limit. And every year brings something new, like whether it's work or personal life, there's always something new. So I'm not really the type to plan, like, okay, where do I want to be in 3 to 5 years? What does that look like? Because to be honest, every month is even so different. New opportunities come up all the time. And so I'm very just like month after month kind of a girl.
I just went to Mel Robbins last night, and that was like one of the
Yeah.
questions was like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, even back then when we had to answer those questions, I would try to make something up, but I never ended up in those places because just things change and you change and evolve as a person and your interests change. And again, new opportunities come your way that just land in your lap. And that's how I mean, I never planned to be an event coordinator or host events in my community. I had no experience at all in that. It's just a passion that I followed. Opportunities that
well,
came
you're
up.
killing it, girl. I'm like, I would never want that in a million years,
It's
but I'm here to support
and
you.
it's brutal. It is brutal. I think one of the hardest parts too is as our brand has grown and become more known, just the other side of social media where things go wrong and people are so quick to judge and say something and call out the negative. I've had to learn to build a strong backbone to those things as our platform's grown and how even my personal page, how that's grown too. Just trying to navigate that's hard.
Social media is a wild, wild
Yeah.
place. And I do see that a lot of people are like, oh, someone's slamming me about this or critiquing me about this. But it's like, well, that's their own issue at that point. It's like, it has nothing to do with you. It really has to do with them. But yeah, it's hard. Like, and the more
Yeah.
we open ourselves up to that, it's
Yep.
like all these
Mhm.
little negative things come flying in.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
What do you want to leave her like out of anything that you've learned in the past couple of years? Like, what's the like, what's the takeaway that you would love to leave the listeners with?
um, takeaway.
Maybe like a word, like some, like a motto that you kind of have stick to, or something that you've learned along the way that you wish others would kind of
Yeah.
embrace.
Yeah. It's cliche, but being true to you, being true to yourself. And the other thing too is like your identity is not tied to your successes. Your identity isn't tied to your business. What your title is, what you're doing isn't tied to being a mom. We cling on to these identities and we get so lost in them that we lose ourselves and we forget just to value ourselves. So I think that's something big is just anchoring your identity and not the external things. Um, yeah, so that just came to mind.
I love that. It's beautiful and it's so needed because again,
Yeah,
we do. It's like we even lead with, like, what do you do? And you're like, I do this, this, this,
yeah,
instead of like who I am
yeah,
as a human being. Like I'm a connector. I love
yeah,
people. You know what I mean? Like we
yes,
hide around the titles.
exactly. Yeah. And the minute that those identities get shifted, if your identities hide in your business and your business fails, you're left feeling defeated. And so that's something I had to learn too with my first business is pulling my identity out of my business. I was like, this is not who I am. This isn't define my success or my worth. And that takes time to recognize and to work through. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
I loved our conversation. I've been so much looking forward to this. And I had you and I were chatting, like I wanted you on, a while back, but clearly you had things
Yeah.
going on. But I
Yeah.
think there was so much beauty in where we're at today and what you've gone through that I think that we
The
got so
time
much more out of it.
timing was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was great.
Well, thank you again for being here. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. And I can't wait to go to all these markets and have all these fun things to do this year. So thank
I know I'm excited. Thank you for your
you.
support. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, thanks again.